Me? Oh, are you sure you want me, God? I say that every time I come up here. Are you sure you want me to talk about that, God? I guess so. So the scripture that was given to me was Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17. And I'm going to read it from two different translations, the King James and the Amplified. The King James reads, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." The Amplified Version says, "Obey your spiritual leaders and submit to them. Recognize their authority over you, for they are keeping watch over your souls and continually guarding your spiritual welfare, as those who will give an account of their stewardship of you. Let them do this with joy and not with grief and groans, for this would be of no benefit to you." Okay, accountability. Accountability is something that, when I first heard it, because, I was raw from the streets coming into church, and they started saying accountability. I'm like, accountability? What are you talking about? You mean to tell me I'm full grown and I need to tell you what I'm doing with my own life? I got to tell you what I'm doing? Like, I'm grown. I've been grown for a long time. Well, I got to tell you what I'm doing. If I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not here, hey, I'm not going to be here. And then I found out my level of not wanting to be accountability is because my reasons were jive. They were so jive. Like, I'm not going to be in church. And then you have leaders like Sister Jones, Sister Angel, Minister Robin. Why you not going to be here? I'm not going to be there. Why you're not going to be there? And my answers were so jive and ungodly that I did not want to give them at all, because I knew it was a lie. I didn't prepare. So I was unprepared for being to service. So I allowed laziness to take over. And it's a damaging thing to your whole soul and your growth when you allow laziness to take over, and it gives you no godly example or no godly way of being properly accountable to your leader. And a lot of people think that being accountable to your leader is just not being accountable to your pastor. It's being accountable to the leadership that the pastor has set forth in this ministry. We have leaders, we have care callers, we have elders, we have leaders, and the leaders of your ministry is who we're supposed to be accountable to. I'm guilty of not doing that. I'm guilty of not being accountable to nobody. I'm just not going to be there tonight. I'm not going to call nobody. And then it ate at my soul. It eats at you. When you're supposed to be accountable and you're not, it really does. It eats at you. I know it do. It eat at me. So I'm just going to talk about me. So I wrote down some notes, and the meaning of accountability, it is the fact or condition of being accountable. It's a responsibility. Synonyms for accountability. Being a whole teacher's aide and being teachery and stuff, it makes you want to do adjectives and that's a noun, and give synonyms of what accountability is. A synonym for accountability is it's the responsibility, it's a liability, it's obedience. The lack of accountability, it corrodes the lines of respect. Because when you're not accountable to the proper people, you're moving and you're corroding and you're demeaning the lines of respect of the people that it's owed to, that's been put in the proper place that we're supposed to be accountable to. Accountability does not have any respect of person. Just because you don't feel your leader right now, I'm not talking to them right now, so I'm not going to be accountable. That's not godly. Accountability, it has no respect of person. Accountability is for people that does not think more of ourselves. You can't be accountable and think more of yourself than what you should. You just can't. It's almost like being a child again, being an adult, but being a child. Hey, this is what's going on. Being accountable. You can't think more of yourself than what you should, because hey, you can't think you high and mighty and be accountable. It doesn't work. Being accountable, it forces us to take a good look at ourselves. And if it's done properly, it will help us get rid of all of our jive and ungodly excuses. An adjective describing accountability. I like adjectives and nouns. They include things like it's your willingness to be accountable. You have to be willing to be accountable. It gives you a quality of life. When you're accountable, it helps bring a certain level of quality to our lives. It helps our leaders know what's going on. There's several times I've said, hey, and I know I use Sister Jones a lot. She's my accountability person that I go to and I run things across. But she's been in the way of God way longer than I have. So me being accountable about small things like, hey, I want to go and do such and such. What do you think about that? And she always gives me a deeper godly way of thinking about it that never crossed my mind. Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's not a good idea at this time. Whether I'm wrong or not. It's accountability, and it's of God. Examples of accountability is being a person that your leader can trust. If you're not accountable, your leader can't trust you in no aspect. Accountability means that you have a level of willingness to accept the responsibility of our actions. We have to accept it. Being accountable will help us eliminate the time and effort we spend on distracting activities that means our day and life no good. Okay, that was directly for me. I have this game on my phone. It's a new game. And it's called Castle Crush. And I find myself wasting so much time playing this game.
Yeah.
And it's just a game of me taking my little men and putting them in front of somebody else's man. So if my man level is stronger than yours, I'm going to beat you. Like I just got to bombard your castle and crush it. I waste so much time on this game.
Yes, sir.
That game means me no good. And the time that I could be doing stuff that I need to do, like I got 2 loads of laundry that I need to do. And then when my husband comes home and he says, I thought you said you was going to do that laundry. I don't got no accountability other than I played the game all day. That's just what I did. I spent time wasting playing this game. I don't know, it's a mess. I'm going to have to delete the game.
Yes, sir.
Being accountable, it helps keeps us plugged in and engaged with our God-purpose life. Being accountable, it seems small and minute sometimes, but the bigger picture of accountability is it keeps us in the way that we're supposed to be. It keeps us confined to not going outside of the box that we're supposed to be in. That's what accountability is for me. That's what it keeps me in line. It keeps me in order. Keeps me where I'm supposed to be. Accountability helps keep me responsible. Because I can be irresponsible sometimes. So if I know I gotta call and say, hey, Sister Jones, such and such happened, or hey, I'm not gonna be there for such and such, it keeps me responsible. Accountability helps us to check our thoughts and ideas with someone else that can see things in a different, deeper, godly light that we can't see. Now, accountability. I told y'all, it's for me. Because I'm like, God, I don't think you really want me to talk about accountability. I'm not really great at accountability. You know, I hope you don't went out of town. I'll be out of town. Nobody knows where I'm at. And when I come back and they say, well, where you been? I haven't seen you. Now I got an attitude. What you mean? I was here. Sis, you weren't here. And I didn't tell nobody I was gone. Accountability is not good. That, and then when I really find, when I go out of town and I haven't told anybody that I'm out of town, I always run into problems. There's so many problems that I run into that could have been avoided, because if I would have ran that accountability by my leader, because, you know, I thought more than what I was, thought more of myself than what I was, and thought I was way grown than I was, if I would have just ran it by and say, hey, not to go and say, this is what I'm doing, and that's it. No. This is what I'm thinking about. What do you think about that? That's proper accountability. Okay, I was checking for my time. I ain't want to go over. That's proper accountability. And then, not only are we responsible for being accountable for what we're wanting to do, but then it's our responsibility to come back and say, this is what happened, this is what I did, and this was the outcome. Accountability in the church, especially with leaders, it can be, the lines can be crossed sometimes. I know